Hello and welcome to class activity number 10. So today we are going to go over how to configure and manage users and groups in the Active Directory. All right, so let's get started. This is what a lot of the novice system administrator will be. So you want to be proficient in doing this class activity. So practice this as much as you can. All right, so let's log in to the domain controller. All right, I love server 2022. All right, and so the first thing we're going to do, we'll wait till the Active Directory and users and computers come up, which is right here. So we need to launch that. That's where we're going to be doing our work. So open the Active Directory users and computers. All right. Why is it taking so long? Okay, here we go. All right, so first thing I want to do, it looks like that the advanced features are on. So I'll go to view and turn that off. I don't need that. So the advanced features, uncheck that. All right, so back to our organizational units. So let's, this is where we're going to create the users under the XYZ users. So let's create the first user, right click and go to new. And we're going to go to user. That's how you create users. Let's create a Mike Smith. Mike is his first name. His last name is Smith. All right, his logon is going to be the first letter of his first name, M, and his last name, Smith. All right, so that's the convention. So Mike Smith at xyz.local. He's located at this. So when he logs in with M. Smith, they will search for his name in the xyz.local to authenticate him. All right. So they're going to verify his username, click on next, and then they'll verify the password. The password has to follow the complexity rule, which at least you have to have a capital letters, lowercase letters, and numbers. And the easiest one is to type welcome with a capital W and the number 1 at the end. So welcome 1. Let's do it again. Welcome 1. All right. Leave this check. The user has to change his password when he logs in. So when Mike Smith logs in, he's going to have to change welcome 1. All right. When they authenticate him, they validate him. All right. The user account cannot change the password. So leave that unchecked. So he can change it if he wants to. The password never expires. That's not recommended, but we'll leave that unchecked. And if you want to disable the account, if you want to just create the user and the password and not, disable it for now. You're just creating users and then you'll enable them later on. All right, click on next and finish. That's it. If you click on users, if you, expand users, you'll see that Mike Smith is in there. Let's create another user. Right click in here, in this space area, because you are in the XYZ users container. Go to new and go to new user. Let's create Jane Doe, D-O-E. And her login name is J-D-O-E. All right, at xyz.local. Same password. Welcome 1 with a capital W. Again, welcome 1 with a capital W. All right, click next, finish. You got 2 users. Isn't that great? You can create all the users in the organization here. This is for better management and maintaining them. Now, let's say Jane Doe and Mike Smith, I want them to be in the testing engineering group here. I want to create a group and add these two users in there. So just because for the purpose of these two guys are going to be working on a special project, or they are the managers of a special project, they're going to be given specific permissions to certain resources. So you create a group and you put all these users in the group, and you create a policy for that group to have access to resources or not have access to resources or whatever. So you can control them. So let's create a group in the testing organizational unit, which is, remember, it's under the XYZ engineering. So you can right click in this group area because it's already highlighted, or you can right click on the testing organizational unit. I'm going to do it right in here. Right click, go to new, and let's create a group. All right, so the group is going to be global, the scope of it, and we're done for security purposes, so you can create group policies. Let's call the group managers. All right, and that's it. Just click on OK. Just created a group. Now, if you wanted to add members to it, you can right click on it, actually, and go to properties. All right, here are the members of it. You can add members right here. So let's click on add. And you want to add Mike Smith. So you write MI, because you know Mike Smith starts with MI, and check all the names in all the users that starts with MI. And Mike Smith comes up. You click OK. And now Mike Smith is a member of the managers group. Another way of doing this, so click apply, click OK. You can go to the actual user. So let's go to the users. And let me add Jane Doe to the group. So you can right click on Jane Doe and say add to a group. Click on that. And the name of the group that we want is managers. So you write MAN, because I know the group name is managers. Check the names for all the groups that start with MAN. Managers comes up and you click OK. And then you are successful. All right. Click OK. Now I'm going to go to the testing. I want to verify that the members, Jane Doe and Mike Smith, are part of the group. All right. You can double click on it. Go to the members and take a picture of this. So we know now Jane Doe and Mike Smith are members of the group managers. Now, when we create group policies, we'll be able to set the group policy for these people. But that's for another class activity. All right, so take a picture of that. And now we are going to verify to see if Mike Smith can log in from his client machine. So let's leave this domain controller running, go to the client, and boot up the client. Okay, let's log in. I'll go to input, keyboard, Control Alt Delete. All right, we want to go to other user. Okay, we're logging into the xyz.local, so you don't even have to change the domain. All right, the username is M Smith, right? His password is welcome1 with a capital W. Welcome1, right? Hit enter. All right, says the User password must be changed before signing in. Click OK. Take a picture of this before we continue. I want to verify that you were able to connect to the domain controller. All right, let's change it to welcome to with a capital W. Welcome to, verify, welcome to. All right. And now Mike Smith has connected and he was verified. The password has changed and he's in. They're going to prepare his desktop. So if let's go back to, while they're doing that, we'll go back in here. We'll go to the user. And if we click on Mike Smith, you can see his account, his address, what he's a member of, all the goodies that you want to know about Mike Smith and all of that. But we will be able to discuss that some other time with you. I think we're going to, let me just verify. Hold on a second. That he was logged in successfully. Yes, so this is the client and Mike Smith has been logged in. All right, so let me go back to here. Now let me reset. What happened if Mike Smith forgot his password and he called you in and he wants you to reset his password? How are you going to do that? After you verify the identity of Mike over the phone, whatever, you ask him questions or wherever it is that, and you came to the point where you went on reset his password. All you have to do is just go to the user, right click on him, and you can disable his account. So let's say you can disable his account if you think he's going to be laid off or fired. Never ever delete an account. Always disable it. He won't be able to log in, right? And in case he needs to come back, you just re-enable it. Because if you delete somebody's account, they're going to lose everything. In all the groups that he was in, his security ID, which is everyone, every time you create a user will have it. So all that information is completely gone. So it's probably a good idea just to disable it. Unless you are 100% know that that person will never come back, then you can delete them. All right, so that's how you would disable somebody's account. This is how you will reset the password. So let's say I want to reset his password. You can never figure out what his password is. So if he doesn't know it, you're not going to know it either. So the only thing that you can do, you can reset it to a new one. So you click on reset and let's make it welcome 3. So if you type welcome 3 and then you type welcome 3, you can unlock his account too. If it was locked because of that, we're going to create later on a group policy that will lock somebody's account if they misspelled their password 3 times. So this is what you would do. You would come in, give him a new password, and check this box to unlock his account. And you tell him what the new password is, and he'll be able to log in, right? This is a typical system administrator job, right? All right, click on OK. So Mike Smith now password has changed. All right, so let's go back to the client and let's try to log in again. So click on the power, go to Mike Smith, and let's sign out. All right. The first thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to try, we'll go to input, keyboard, Control Alt Delete. Let's try to welcome to. Welcome to. And he's trying to authenticate, no good. All right, so if we type welcome 3, it's gonna be, and you need to change the password. Let's change it to welcome 4. Welcome 4. Welcome 4. All right, so Mike Smith has welcome 4 password now. And Jane Doe still has welcome 1. All right. So, so that's that. Now, what happened if Okay, a couple of things. Let's leave that alone for now. Let's go to back here. Let's go back to these users. I want to show you a couple of things in here to the default users. He's the administrator. Okay, double click on the administrator. Go to his account. And his password never expires. And he could do, you could actually set anything you want on him right here. Right? If you go to the guest user, you see that his arrow is down. That means this account has been disabled. Right? Remember, the administrator is the one that has everything. So it's probably a good idea to create a user and give him all the rights and never use the administrator password. Because if anybody really break into your network and use the password of the administrator to get in, he can alter everything and take you out. So it's probably a good idea to never, ever use the administrator and his password. Keep that just as a backup. Create another power users that has the rights to manage everything. And if anybody compromise that, the administrator can always come back and get rid of them. That's the security, that's the backdoor that you can create. All right, so that's that. What else do you need to know? Okay, so let's say you wanted to create a whole bunch of users. It's probably best to create a template. Let's say you have like 50 users are going to come in, let's say in college, you have a class and you want to create 50 users. You're not going to keep creating them because they all have the same properties. So it's probably to create a template and just make a copy of the template. You know what I'm talking about? So that's the best way to do it. So let's create a template first. So in here, right click, just create a regular user, new user, and let's call it temp, last name user, and his login name is going to be T user. Okay, click next. Give him a password. Let's say welcome 1. Oh, welcome 1 again. Users, you don't want them to change the password. You could do that. Users password never expires. That's not recommended either. Account is disabled. You can disable it if you want, but leave everything the same. Click on next. Click on finish. All right. Then you right click. Now, the next thing I want to do is I want to put all the properties that are common for all the users that are going to come in. So let me go to view, click on advanced options. And if you go to the users, where are they here? Just the regular users. Find the temp user, double click on it. Or you can right click, go to properties. Look how many tabs. Let's say you can add their address, their account, their profile, the telephone numbers, and so on. If all the groups, the member of the groups that they are in, and you can do all of that within these, there's like 18 tabs in here. Okay? And so when you want to create a new user now, all you have to do is right click, go to the temp and right click and copy it. If you copy it, then all you have to do then is just change the username and password. All the other properties will be copied because they are common. So that's the best way to go about doing that. All right. Always create a copy. Take a snapshot showing this, that you create a user and you should be able to copy it. Okay, I just want to make sure we don't have to do anything like that. We don't have to create a new user. I just want to show that this is what you should do when you are going to create group of users where they have common properties. All right, so we'll leave that alone. Now, let's take off the advanced features. Okay. Go back to our users. Let's say you have a whole bunch we have a whole bunch of branches, and in these branches you have a lot of users in here. Let's say we have a lot of users in there in each company or sales company, whatever. And if somebody calls in, the manager, the system administrator, you may have thousands of employees, and they say, I want to reset my password. And the problem is, you don't know this person that's logging in. They may have compromised someone else, got a lot of information about you. And even if you ask them who's your name, your zip code or whatever, they'll give the right answers. And you reset the password, and because it's done remotely, he'll be able to log in and spoof that person and use that person's to access the network. So what you usually do is, for each department, you delegate a manager to be able to reset password for that group. Because why? Because he knows these people, right? And so if somebody calls in, if XY, Mr. George, whatever, called in, Freddy Cougar called in, and he says, I need to reset my password. Well, because I'm the manager of the sales, I know Freddy Cougar, and I'll be able to reset his password. So you want to delegate a manager for each department to be able to reset the password. So how do you delegate control, in other words? So here's how you do it. Let's say I want to delegate Jane Doe to the sales organizational unit so she can reset the password for anybody that works in that department. So you right click on sales, go to delegate control. All right, click on next. Who you want to delegate? Click on add, and we want J Doe. So write J and check the names that starts with J. Jane Doe came up. Click OK. We want to, all right, good. Click on next. What do we want J Doe to do? Reset passwords. You can actually do any of this. Allow her to do all of this. But we want her just to reset user passwords and force password change on log on. For everybody in the XYZ, she'll be able to reset password for anyone. Take a picture of this. Okay. Click on next. And finish. That's it. So, by the way, sales, including people in the marketing. So, Jane Doe will be able to reset password for users that are assigned in the anybody in the XYZ or in the groups and the marketing organizational unit as well. All right. So let me verify. You go right click, go to properties of sales, managed by. It doesn't say it. No, that's not where you're supposed to be. So let me see here. Hold on a second. All right, to verify that Jane Doe can reset password to the sales organizational unit, first thing you need to do is make sure that you have the advanced features on. So check that. Then you right click on the sales organizational unit, go to properties. All right, click on security. You can actually see, and then click, you can see Jane Doe right here. She has some special permissions, but we want to go to advanced, and you'll see that Jane Doe is able to reset password. Take a picture of this. All right. And that's it for this lab exercise. for this class activity. When you're done, just uncheck the features. A couple of things you should ask yourself. How do I reset the password? How do I unlock somebody's, how do you reset a password? Just right click on the user, right? Right click on the user and you'll be able to reset it. How do you unlock it? Double click on the, you double click on the, right click on the user, go to properties, you can unlock his account from there. Never delete a user. It's best to disable it. To replace a user, just copy, do a copy. You remember the template thing? All right, so I'll see you in the next class activity. Okay, let me just reset here. And all right, we'll see you in class activity 11.